And welcome to Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290 CJBK on this Saturday afternoon, joined right now by our real estate expert, Joan Ball from LePage, Triland Realty. You can reach Joan at 519-672-9880 and visit the website joanball.com. We've got a great listing that we're going to talk about a time or two throughout the program, but first, we're going to welcome Joan to the show. How are you, my friend?
I am doing very, very well. A little exhausted. Just came from the Reality Conference. AREA is the Ontario Real Estate Association Reality Conference. We had Lisa Laflamme there. We had a number of fabulous speakers, including past President Bill Clinton, which was quite extraordinary. And just a lot of trying to get our Queen's Park MPPs to recognize the housing needs and how we need to best move forward. So that was exciting few days.
Wow. And you were at a conference not too long ago, Joan, up in Ottawa. Is this part of your being on the board of directors with L-Star that gets you involved with these conferences?
So what a lot of people don't understand is the real estate industry is very active in helping the politicians really recognize and fine-tune where are those gap areas for individuals and Canadians in housing. And so we try to put it into a very succinct format and focus and try to move things forward, because right now we have such a shortage of housing, and we really need to have a boost on infrastructure and increasing that ability for the municipalities. And then obviously there are federal pushes that need to happen. There are provincial and then obviously locally. So we are very involved in that area. Not everyone is on the board, but obviously the board of directors, that's part of our mandate, is to make sure we help to move some of those processes and policies forward for all Canadians.
Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290. CJBK from LePage, Triland Realty. Joan's phone number, 519-672-9880. JoanBall.com, the website address. Would it be safe to say, Joan, that there is not one easy answer to solving the the shortage of homes issue?
Absolutely. And it needs to be a team approach. It needs to be sort of unified on all levels of government to be able to have this happen, because, the municipalities can only do so much. They need the support provincially, federally. So it's multi-level. And no, there's no one easy approach, but the one thing we do know is we need to start building more homes, and not necessarily just standalone single-family homes. We need to have a selection of options, right. And obviously some of the buildup of and renewal of the infrastructure downtown. My belief is that that's in preparation for building some of the high-density housing down in that area.
Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290 CJBK here on this Saturday afternoon. Just recapping a recent conference that Joan attended in Toronto. To wrap up on this, Joan, any insight as to what past President Bill Clinton had to say?
Well, it was very interesting. I found him very casual, very relaxed, very comfortable, really looking at some of the mistakes that occurred throughout his career. Not the obvious one that everybody thinks about, but, some of the things that he had indicated to Jimmy Carter that might be better done in a certain way, and in retrospect, Jimmy Carter said, yeah, you were right, we should have done it that way. So it was really interesting to get that level of insight, and it was just almost like a conversation he was having with the interviewer, and it was wonderful also to see his enthusiasm about where we are headed, and feeling that globally we will sort of end up coming out of this better than we were. So, yeah, it was a wonderful opportunity.
I bet. Yeah, wow, what a chance to get. And I love that sign of optimism as well. Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts. Before I ask you about the current market and what you're seeing into the future, and I'm sure you got a lot of insight in the last week or so at the conference you were at, but I do want to ask you, Joan, about a beautiful new listing that you have, and that is at 214 Novello Avenue. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yes, I just listed 214 Novello Avenue in Norton Estates. Lovely, really nestled in that area. And it is a 3-bedroom plus another bedroom in the basement ranch with 2 full bathrooms, finished basement, the most private backyard. The cedar-lined backyard is just extremely private, good size, large deck off the eat-in kitchen. It is main floor has hardwood floors in the principal rooms, natural wood fireplace, updated windows and patio door, and it really is ideally listed at 5099. Just incredible to get into that area at that price. And we will be there doing an open house later today, Saturday, 2 to 4. And also tomorrow, Sunday, I'll be there from 2 to 4 as well. Feel free to give me a shout or let me know if you have any interest. We will be taking offers next week. So I do expect to get some response with this. It is just such affordability in a fabulous London neighborhood.
Absolutely, and it looks so bright and clean. That place is spotless, Joan, and it's still furnished in the pictures and everything, but it just looks so inviting. That is amazing. So an open house this afternoon, 2 to 4, and also Sunday, 2 to 4. Okay, and is there a specific date, Joan, when the offers will be taken?
Yes, the offers are going to be taken on December the 2nd by noon. And if anybody has any interest, certainly let me know and I'll scoot them through. And I will say the neighbors in this area, they are amazing, just amazing. And my clients will be moving into the area, just a bigger house. They need a bigger house. But just a wonderful, just a wonderful neighborhood, just a wonderful feel.
Awesome. Good stuff. And you can find the details at Joan's website, which is joanball.com. And if you have any further questions, you can give Joan a call at 519-672-9880. Again, the website, joanball.com. In the last couple of weeks, Joan, in terms of the real estate market here in this area, much of a change? What are you seeing?
So I am seeing a little bit of a change. I am seeing a little bit more activity. I'll refer back also to some of the economists that were at the conference that I was just at and indicate that some of them are indicating a little bit of a soft recession, is what they called it, going into the new year. However, there are some individuals that are much more optimistic, and I think we have to recognize that when you're reading the news, many times it may be Toronto-based or their larger communities, Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, that kind of thing. But London is different, so we have to read the data specific to London. And, data is in the rear view mirror. So when you're forecasting, your data may reflect what's going to happen. But then again, as realtors, I think you also have to know your market, know how your market responds, and be able to forecast accurately to your locale and your location. So I do see that we have had a bit of an increase. We're not as far apart in the new listings versus the sales on any one given day. So we're a little closer on those numbers. So I do think for the next while, mid-December, it'll still be pretty active. And then in the new year, I do think we'll have a fair bit of activity, and we'll see London do very well.
Good stuff. Glad to hear. And I like that term, data is in the rearview mirror. That is something that we need to keep in mind. I'd never even heard that expression before, but makes a lot of sense. Joan Ball here on Ask the Experts from Royal LePage, Triland Realty. Phone number to reach Joan, 519-672-9880. And you can visit the website, joanball.com. I haven't asked you this, Joan, in a while, but if somebody is listening, and I talk to people all the time who listen to you on the radio, and they just say, oh, if I ever need to buy or sell, I'm going to call Joan. What is the process for somebody who's never touched base with you before? They've got a home, they're going to put it on the market, looking for something different. You're going to walk them through some steps, try to get a feel for where they're at. How does it go?
Yeah, there's a fair bit of information depending on where they are. If it's their first home, then, there's a whole process I go through. There's a home buyer guide that I provide them. I do walk through a fair bit of information just to get them better informed and knowing, and it's really managing their expectations and helping them to know what they need to line up and how they can cross their T's and dot their I's, because the minute we start looking at properties, they may find something that they like. And so I want them to be better prepared to be able to access that opportunity. If they have never spoken with a mortgage broker, well, obviously I have to put them in touch with a mortgage broker and have them pre-qualified, or pre-approved. And there's a lot of just basic information. I always say to them, there's no such thing as a silly question or a stupid question. Ask me anything. And in clients that have as repeat will always say to me, I will always remember you giving us that foundation of knowledge and information, because it really helps with any subsequent properties they might want to invest in.
Good stuff. And you can call Joan and ask any questions at 519-672-9880. JoanBall.com, the website address here on Ask the Experts. Pause for some important messages. Return with more on Newstalk 1290 CJBK right after these. And welcome back to Ask the Experts with our real estate expert here on the program today, Joan Ball from Royal LePage, Triland Realty. Joan's phone number, 519-672-9880. That's 519-672-9880. And go to the website, joanball.com. You can check out Joan's listing at 214 Novello Avenue. And affordability, is that the word you used earlier, Joan? Because I think that is very accurate for this beautiful home.
Yeah, I think that, when you look at real estate, obviously what's the most important thing, and we always say location, 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 because that really is, you can change other things. You can change anything about a house, but the location is always going to be one of the overriding factors. But then this house has it all. I mean, because it really is for people who are, especially with what's happened with the interest rates, when you're looking at getting into the market or even the move down business, because some of the downsizers may be looking for 3-bedroom, 1 floor, right. That's certainly appropriate. And this is in a wonderful location and very, very affordable.
Excellent. A couple of questions in the mailbag here today, Joan. Glenn has a question. I will be selling my home soon and wondering how important open houses will be in selling my house. Can your expert help shed some light? From Glenn.
So when you're listing and marketing a property, it really is important in this market to cross all your T's and dot all your I's. And as much as we have not had a lot of public open houses over the pandemic, we are starting to see them generate themselves, and buyers sort of get interested through that kind of soft entry. Well, there's an open house. Okay, let's pop in. That looks like something that might work for us. Whether they've viewed it online and they've specifically decided to go to that address, or they're just driving by and they're just wanting to have a peek, or maybe they're a neighbor and they might know somebody. And sometimes your neighborhood can be your best sales force. So we are starting to see the public open houses come on board and really be a little bit more active and getting a fairly good response at present. Is that going to be your number one marketing tool? No, not necessarily, because you're really casting a net to one or two or 15 fish,
right,
so to speak. What you want to do is really be able to do all the other stuff. MLS, I view personally as a vital component to put it onto the MLS to give it the extra exposure, and also social media, all the online promotion, any visuals. I use a professional photographer, so that's really vital when you're putting a process of marketing together that you want visually to be to represent the house in a great light. And it's all about taking all those tools and putting them together, and a public open house is only one component of it. They're still doing virtual open houses as well.
And for somebody like Glenn, who will be selling his home soon, and if he does choose to go the road of having an open house, Joan, what do you advise somebody like Glenn in his position, being the homeowner, prior to an open house? Are there suggestions there?
Absolutely. If you have valuables, remove them from the property or have them in a safe spot. If you have any pets, perhaps remove them from the house. Individuals saying, well, the cat will just sleep on the bed or whatever. And quite honestly, some individuals may have an aversion to certain animals. And, so just keep those things in mind. Curb appeal is vital. Now that we're going to be getting into December and closer to Christmas, think of some subtle and classic decor items for the curb appeal, and as people come in, and just walk through your property from the curb all the way through, and just think safety, security. Tuck your valuables away or take them off the property, and make sure it's neat and clean and tidy.
Great ideas, great suggestions, that's for sure. And finally on this topic, Joan, what do you tell the homeowners? And I'm just thinking, a friend of mine told me not too long ago, he had a car parked in front of his house and he was just out doing something in the front yard. My buddy was, and the gentleman that was in the car informed him that he lived down the street a few houses and was having an open house at the time, and he just wanted to sit there and see who was going through. What do you tell the homeowner to do? Just get away for a few hours and give your mind a little bit of a rest?
Oh, absolutely. Well, if you've hired a realtor to do the work for you, and you've researched and interviewed 3 realtors, or you have a confidence level that you feel you made the best choice, then entrust them with that responsibility. Your realtor should, in my view, here's how I work, I give them a full report on how many were through, what was the feedback, give them some kind of an idea of, on an average, how long individuals stay, what were some of the questions, what's the response? Are they going to follow up? Do they have an agent? Do they need you to maybe follow up with any questions they might have had? Just let that realtor do their job.
Good stuff. David and Beth want to know, trends seem to be indicating that prices of properties have fallen over the last 6 months. Is your expert seeing that, and how is this impacting on buyers and sellers?
So I do think we have sort of hit our current bottom. I don't see things certainly, and I say that with a bit of caution, in that you still have an obligation, I believe, as a seller to make sure that you're accurate in your listing, in your price, your listing price, and your assessment of where your property falls in the current market. So still do that. And because I am seeing some properties that are listing at a certain price, not getting offers within a couple of weeks, and then increasing a price. And that's just, you want to come out with confidence. You want to know where your price is. And hopefully that's where you've done your due diligence and your research and collected the data enough to be able to say, this is where we're at, this is where it needs to be, and then know how to market the property. So, it's important to come in with confidence and some accuracy.
Joan Ball on Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290 CJBK. If you want to, or at least thinking about buying or selling, and you want the confidence, well, you want to call Joan Ball, our real estate expert from LePage, Triland Realty. The number to reach Joan is 519-672-9880. JoanBall.com, the website address here on Ask the Experts. Back with more right after these. And welcome back to Ask the Experts on Newstalk 1290. CJBK, Joan Ball joining us here on the program today on this Saturday afternoon. Details again, Joan, about the listing on Novello Avenue, please.
So 214 Novello Avenue is an absolutely gorgeous little ranch. 3 bedrooms on the main floor, 1 in the basement, finished rec room, 2 full bathrooms, eat-in kitchen with patio doors out to a large deck. Privacy in the rear yard. Good size yard. The hardwood floors in the main living areas on the main floor. Natural wood fireplace. Beautiful front deck as well. A nice sitting front deck, which is wonderful because that's south facing. So in some of the evenings, it would be nice. So you've got front and back deck. Fabulous neighbors, wonderful neighbors, and open house today 2 to 4, and on Sunday 2 to 4.
Awesome, good stuff. And
listed for 5099. Sorry, I should say that.
Absolutely. JoanBall.com. You can find the details there. Beautiful home. What's the common sort of protocol these days, Joan, as far as appliances go when homes are being sold? Is it more common than not to have them included in the home?
It really depends. We used to never put appliances other than built-in dishwashers into our offers, or that you might ask for them and see if they're negotiable or whatever. But nowadays, a lot more of the kitchen appliances will be included. It's hit and miss with the washer dryer.
Okay.
Some people are very personal with those. They want to take theirs with them. So it really depends on the specific property. You quite often can find the kitchen appliances included.
Gotcha. One more here from Roger, who is wondering, is your expert seeing conditions on offers now due to a slower market?
Yes, I am starting to see a lot more conditions, and even conditions on the sale of a property, and that is just indicative of what's going on in the market, and the fact that buyers can be a little bit more cautious and should be. Home inspection conditions, financing conditions. I have not seen the insert of insurance conditions that much, which used to be an obvious. However, individuals are knowing that they need to do their due diligence and get all that lined up prior to closing.
Good stuff. Well, I'll let you go, Joan. You have your open house this afternoon from 2 until 4, and also tomorrow 2 until 4, and that is at 214 Novello Avenue. If anybody wants to check it out, go online, JoanBall.com. You can get all the information there, and you can give Joan a phone call at any time, 519-672-9880, JoanBall.com, the website address. Joan Ball, our real estate expert from LePage, Triland Realty. Great information, as always, Joan. Appreciate it very much. Glad you made it back safely from your conference in Toronto, and I'll let you go to the open house, and we'll talk very soon.
Thanks, Ryan. You have a great day.
You as well. Joan Ball here on Newstalk 1290, CJBK from LePage, Triland Realty. That does it for us, the expert.